Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. I'm surrounded by cats right now. We got Ruka, he's on the desk. We got Tomo, he's on the ground. Maggie, that's a name I've not heard for a long time. I was actually excited I got a speed upgrade, that's how long it's been. Tomo, don't jump on the computer, buddy. I see you got the little ears back. You're looking at the top of the computer. Come on. What are you doing? I don't want to start a video like this either. I want conversational momentum. I want bada bing, bada boom, Eastside Marios, etc., etc. I gotta make sure. It's tough, you know? Because people go, why don't you just kick the cats out of your office? And there's two reasons. One is, if I kick them out of the office, they sit outside the door and meow for like hours. Which is annoying in and of itself. And the other reason is because screw you. They're my sons and I love them. And I want to be close to them. If you got a freaking problem with that, you got a freaking problem with me, dude. Go ahead. Go ahead, hit me. I want you to hit me. We did ruin our deal with the devil chance, but it's okay. Hold on. Now they want to leave. You may, if you would choose to go of your own volition, you may go. You may also go. Two cats gone. Okay. I know you guys don't have Eastside Marios. Eastside, well, you know, actually in Canada we call it Eastside Marios, which we can because it's our restaurant. It's a chain of fast casual Italian dining fare. Famous when I was a child for a couple of things. One of them was if you lived in a town that was the size of my town, it might be the only Italian restaurant. Well, that's not true. There were two Italian restaurants. You know, there's an Italian restaurant you go for, like, special occasions where, you know, it might be $25 to $40 a person. And then you're like, I'm just craving pasta. I don't want to spend more than $11.74. That's where you go to Eastside Mario's. It was famous for existing. It was also famous for allowing you to eat peanuts out of a big bucket and then just throw the shells on the ground. And then they had this weird wheel that you could spin. You know, like, after you finish your meal, you could spin the wheel, and the meal might be like, you know, free soda, or something like that. Unlimited soup. But, on one of the spaces on the wheel was sweep up the peanut shells. Now, I never saw anybody actually have to sweep up the peanut shells. I wonder if it's one of those things, like, they can't actually enforce. I mean, you're a paying customer. I don't go there to sweep up the peanut shells on the ground. But I don't know. It was a unique experience. Let's put it that way. You know, it was like kind of like a game show while you were eating dinner. Help me, please. It's not going so hot, to be honest with you. I'm taking a lot of damage. I'm a little embarrassed by, but our item upgrades have been good. Now, I'm talking about it in the past tense, but, like, you know, Eastside Mario still exists. I have not been for a long time. In fact, I can tell you, the last time I was at Eastside Mario's was in the year 2010. And I remember, because I still, it was before I moved to Korea. And I was still dabbling in vegetarianism. I got a portobello mushroom burger, which is literally just like a slice of portobello mushroom. And I went, you know what, dude? It was like, it was a bun, and then, you know, lettuce, tomato, onion, and then just like a circular piece of portobello mushroom. And I was like, this is a sorry state of affairs for a vegetarian option on the menu, Mario. If that is your real name. And I haven't been back since. But it helps that they don't exist in Vancouver. It also helps that until probably like 2 years ago, I didn't really like pasta at all. So that really made it easy. You know, every time you go to an Italian restaurant, if you're somebody that doesn't really like noodles, you end up eating a whole pizza. Now, I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong. Because that kind of owns. We should actually check our shop. I would rather not, to be honest, because it's backtracking, but we owe it to ourselves. You might say, why'd you walk into the spike? Look, why'd you leave the keys upon the table? Well, I'll answer your question with another question. I don't think you trust, etc., etc. I don't have a bomb. I think we will just go. That's fine. It's one of those, and I don't begrudge this. Again, people sometimes, and I've talked about this a lot in recent episodes, people think that I was born in a Vancouver penthouse. Oh, hey, get the guy who invented sushi to make me a California roll. I'm hungry. Wah, wah. I'm not really like that. You know, I grew up in a city where there were like 8 Chinese restaurants, and then all other Asian cuisine was located in the same restaurant. It was like New China Buffet, where you go for all your Chinese food desires, and, you know, also for whatever reason they served hamburgers, french fries, and hot dogs. And then if you wanted Thai, Cambodian, Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese food, that was at one restaurant named something like, you know, it's Dragon Restaurant. We got all the other Asian countries' cuisines here. You know, I don't begrudge the restaurant chains that make that happen. Those of you who you live in a town with like between, you know, maybe 10,000 and 100,000 people, you know what I'm talking about. At least in Canada, every city has like one restaurant that's called like, it's usually called like Samurai or something like that, and then it's just like, you want, you know, a pad thai? Sure. You want champong? Sure. You want bibimbap? By all means. You want sushi? We got that too. Excuse me, sir. I can't see my HP, and as a result, I'm offended by what you've done to me here. But, you know, there's so many restaurants. Like, I didn't realize until recently that every single restaurant that fulfills that kind of, like, suburban niche of, like, well, we don't have, like, a great restaurant, but we do have a restaurant that serves it. Every single one of those in Canada is owned by the same company that owns the movie theaters here. They've been doing this ad in front of the movies. As you know, I've been, like, once every, you know, 16 minutes for the last 3 months I've been in the movie theater. But, it used to be like, hey, you go to Swiss Chalet, you go to Kelsey's, you go to Montana's, why don't you get a scene card? You get extra bonuses there. I swear that over the past, like, 3 years, it's been, okay, we got Kelsey's, we got Montana's, we got, Milestones, we got, Earl's, we got Eastside Mario's, and then you got a bunch of, there's like 19 chains of Irish pub. Like, you couldn't have just been Yarrick. Couldn't have just been Yarrick. There's like Finn McCool's, Darcy McGonaghan's, and I'm like, how many Irish pub chains are there in Canada? They're all owned by the movie theater now. Montana's, for those of you who don't know. Canada has a little bit of an American fetishization. I mean, we get a lot of your cultural exports, obviously. The most famous example, I think, and I always laugh about it because it makes no sense to me, but the most famous example is Boston pizza, where, like, even people from America are like, why is there a Canadian pizzeria named Boston Pizza? Boston's not even, I'm not saying Boston's got bad pizza, but I mean, I've been to Boston a few times. I've never been like, oh, the pizza's amazing. I bet, you know, the seafood's pretty good. I mean, as far as an Atlantic bordering state goes. Please let me out here. I want to get off. This is a mess, dude. I think we're gonna get there, though. I think all we need to do is get this deal with the devil, which is why I bought the Spirit Heart in the first place. But there's also Montana's. Montana's is like, you know, the one Tex-Mex. It was like the one place in my hometown you could get like a quesadilla. But prior to the year like 2006, when all of a sudden people started opening their eyes to, you know, the deliciousness of Mexican and Tex-Mex cuisine. But before that, it was like, you want a quesadilla? You want fajitas? You want ribs? I know that's not really, I mean, I guess it is Tex-Mex, but you gotta go put your name down on Montana's. It'll be a 45-minute wait because it's the hottest ticket in the city. And every year for her birthday, Kate's mom wants to go there. And I don't begrudge it. I think it's kind of funny. I mean, they do good birthdays. They put like this weird hat on you that has antlers. It's a shindig. Let's put it that way. Anyway, where am I going with today's episode? Dude, I have no idea. I shouldn't be all twisted up about this. It's the caves one. I really should have taken Crack the Sky in here. One hit of the spacebar and all of a sudden we're, you know, out in front. I actually think that there's although I've kind of committed to Forget Me Now, I actually think that there's a very reasonable case here that Forget Me Now is the right decision. We'll see how we do, or sorry, let me rephrase. Because I think I said the same word twice. I'm a little groggy. Although we've seemingly committed to Forget Me Now, I think there's a reasonable case to make that Crack the Sky is what we actually want to use. Because as you can see, we're suffering amazingly from a damage standpoint. That could change right here. It has changed at least a little. But I think, to be honest with you, I genuinely believe that for the purposes of winning the run, we want to go Forget Me Now. And by Forget Me Now, I mean Crack the Sky. It's not my fault, okay? They have the same cadence. Forget Me Now. Crack the Sky. No, I had one of those weird sleeps. I don't know if you ever get this. Hold on, I'm just ergonomically adjusting here. I don't know if you guys ever get this, but I had like a sleep where I had like a song stuck in my head. And then for whatever reason, like that kept me, not awake, but like I didn't have a restful sleep as a result of that, because every 15 minutes in my head is just Stephen Malcolm says, "Say you had a Buckingham rabbit," and I'm like, dude, can I sleep? I owe Ken Burns, the PBS employed documentarian, a great debt of gratitude for whatever rest I did get last night, because, you know, he's got this documentary about the Roosevelts. You know, FDR and Theodore Roosevelt. And as soon as I swear to God this man says Theodore Roosevelt, my brain is like, time to go. Theodore Roosevelt was born into a Manhattan townhouse. It's not that it's not interesting. It's just that it puts me at such ease that I'm ready to go. But yeah, I'm still waking up. I'm still hip. I'm still with it. Tucka 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 tucka. And etc. and etc. We will feel the repercussions, by the way, of not taking Forget Me Now. But the thing is, I want you to put yourself in my shoes, you know? What's been my predominant concern in Isaac lately? Being dumb. Hey man, look, we're trying to create a culture where we don't really, like, just respond with the cheapest, easiest, laziest joke we can. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world to poke fun at somebody, but you gotta make sure it's at least entertaining. Alright. See, this is a teachable moment. No, our problem in Isaac predominantly has been that we haven't been getting, I mean, okay, maybe we haven't been playing that amazingly, but we haven't been getting high quality items either. So the idea of throwing away a high quality spacebar item that really puts a patch over our bad damage in order to roll the dice and get another boss item, another item room, maybe another shop, maybe another deal with the devil, it seems very backwards to me. It's like the exact metaphor of, you know, the mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat. This is one where we're probably like, the angel we know is better than the 4 angels we don't. Does that make sense? I know I've talked about it before, because I've talked about everything before. That's the one Family Guy joke that even as the show dwindles in popularity, I'm like, that's in the all-time, like, 20 or 30 best cartoon jokes, in my opinion. There's a lot of people in real life who are like that. You know, why take the sure thing when the thing that's not sure could be anything? If we play our cards right, it could even be as good as the sure thing. I still think, though, I don't know, it's really tough, but I think my favorite Simpsons joke, and this would probably by default make it one of my favorite cartoon jokes ever, is when Homer gets a job. I think it's the episode where Homer gets a job at Hank Scorpio's facility. And Marge, as a result of the fact that their life is stress-free, she gets bored, and they do this really like harrowing shot of her pouring a glass of wine, and they play like a stinger that makes it seem like, oh, she's descending like into alcoholism. And then later they do a callback, and Marge is like, I don't want to live here anymore. I've even started drinking a glass of wine a day. And then, you know, she waits a second, and then she goes, I know you're supposed to drink a glass and a half, but I just can't drink that much. That's just... I was like, you got me. Look, you had to be there, okay? Oh, I'm sorry, it's not as good as the BoJack Horseman, where BoJack is learning how to run, and the guy says, oh, you know, it gets easier, but you gotta do it. And then, you know, we all, Albert Einstein pulls out a crisp $100 bill and et cetera, yeah, I'm not trying to be dismissive, I'm responding to perceived dismissiveness, which hasn't existed yet. This is what we call a straw man argument. Let's try. You know, I actually think... No, I don't think we should. I thought about Yeraing there. I could have Yera'd before, which might have been for the best. I'm really kind of like... Oh, no. Okay, thank God. I'm kind of starved for damage, honestly. I also have not seen my HP in 10 floors, so... And that's long enough to declare it legally dead! It's, Austin Powers 2. Perhaps you've heard of it. It's about a spy who, shagged me. Yeah, baby. No deal with the devil. Jeez Louise, dude. It's the 3.5 damage is getting me down. We're on the depths one, behind schedule, which is very surprising, I might add. No. I'm willing to take a risk on this, though. And then, do we want to Yera this? It's not a great Yera, honestly, but it's an interesting Yera. Why would you open the... No, that's okay. That was actually not unwise, now that I think about it. Wait, we already know that one's gonna have a trinket in it, so I don't think we want to open it. I actually think we... Yeah, then now we're talking. It was not necessary... I mean, this isn't gonna turn around a run that's in free fall, but it was kind of an interesting play. Now we got enough bombs, which is actually worth a lot, because we're gonna need those, particularly for bosses. Bosses have been a real pain in the butt so far. By the way, I know, like, it could be perceived that I could basically just complain about anything in Isaac right now, but I really would like to see how much HP I have. It's been like 4 floors since I've seen my health. I know we're at 1 or more red heart because we have 9 lives. I think we're at 2, but I don't know if it's empty, full. I don't know if we got spirit hearts working for us. I don't know where we're at, you know? I know we should probably not walk into the enemy. That's a big one. One makes you larger. Classic pill. I'm always happy to see as many of those as possible. Well, now we're at full HP. I gotta tell you, Isaac, there's no way for you to know this, but you're playing a dangerous game, okay? It's 2019. 5 years ago, you were the big kid on the block. You get the occasional run that's built on an empire of trash, and you go, whatever, that's Isaac. Nowadays, there's new hotness. You know, shiny and chrome roguelites come out every 2 days. When I'm in a moment of vulnerability, because the runs have been a little bit, you know, lately. And then you're coming at me with whatever this run is right here, where I still got base damage like 5 floors into the game. You don't know who you're messing with, okay? This ain't 2014 anymore. Avatar is no longer the highest grossing movie at the box office. Iggy Azalea's Fancy is not #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It's a song by Lil Nas X called Old Town Road. Maybe you've heard of it, sweetheart? I think we need this just to protect our deal with the devil interests, which it turns out were probably not necessary, but... I'm trying to, you know, I say this, and you'll experience this if you haven't already. You might be watching this and you're like, man, 2014 is 5 years ago. That's crazy. I was so different back then. Man, I was in 10th grade. I've really changed a lot. I have changed, like, I've gotten better. I've improved myself. But I haven't changed very much. I went from, like, you know, I mean, I'm trying to think of a way to do this metaphor positive. Dude, we gotta try. We actually have to try. And it worked out very nicely, to be fair, but... I think we have to at least take this, because we really need the statistical improvement, honestly. You know, the older you get, you change, not so much like a Mach, or an 11.0 on the Richter scale hitting you. It's more like continental drift, you know? I don't know where this metaphor is going. I'm just saying it's... Your time scale changes the older you get. You think like, and I'm not even saying I'm old. I'm just saying I'm feeling the perception of that already. When I, you know, God willing, 60s, 70s, 80s, and older, you know, I'm sure it'll be like whole decades have gone by. Like I was reading this news story. It was about a Korean War veteran, and he suffered like a debilitating leg injury in the war in like 1953. And I was like, good God. That was like, we're closing in on that being 70 years ago. That's crazy. So I'm sure if you suffered like a catastrophic trauma in like the 1950s, you know, the years start going by at a much different pace for you. You know what I'm like, they have different significance, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Oh, this is a real tough one. I think we have to try to take it. Certainly I was not going to statistically just, you know, turn it into something with Void. I think Bloody Lust, it works pretty well for us, and then we'll also just hope. Hold on, what do we got here? I'm going to take this so we can get into doors on the next floor. Are you proud of me? I thought about that for a second. That doesn't always happen. Oh my God, I can see my HP. Okay, so obviously, like, this is not the perfect use case for Bloody Lust, and I knew that going in. You know, I had kept tabs on my HP mentally to know that at least we had 2 Red Heart containers, because apparently HP, by the way, is like the most unlikely resource to ever get in Isaac. You know, we've come a long way from Flash Isaac, where you ended up with HP off the screen every game. Now it's a no-can-do situation. It's a great metaphor for dwindling natural resources, actually. It's like we dug too deep and too greedily. So we have a lot of, like, soft damage ups. You know, not actual damage ups, but hey, we got Succubus, we got Bloody Lust, we got Bookworm. You know, we got things that are, wow, that was close. We got things that are improving our DPS. You know what we could really use, though, is something that, like, literally mathematically improves the amount of damage we do. But in 2019, Isaac, that's asking a lot. I know I don't want to go down the wah path, but I'm just like... So many of these runs recently have, like, forced you to make a choice. And the choice is, would you rather have, low HP and okay damage, or lots of HP but it takes 100 years to kill basic enemies in the womb? And I don't know, I kind of... The thing is, you don't have to choose, because there's a third implicit choice, which is yeeting the game into the stratosphere. And we definitely want that. We'll take this as well, just to stay frosty. You know, truth be told, the game is not in a vulnerable position at all, because I'm definitely sticking with Isaac till the DLC is out and, you know, mastered, more or less. A certain base level of competency is reached, let's put it that way. But, you know, this is like, it's like watching the Vancouver Canucks, okay? They're in a rebuilding phase. Right now, unfortunately, we're in, like, the 2016-2017 season, where we're like, oh boy, sure, we suck. Dude, I don't know, this... It's such a small damage upgrade, I really think we have to swing for the fences. Or we could take the miter. That will also help out a lot, I think. I don't think giving up on Dogtooth was a bad idea. 100%. But, you know, hey, sure, we stink right now, but on the bright side, we got Jared McCann and Hunter Shinkaruk in the prospect pool. For those of you who don't watch hockey, I mean, Jared McCann, I got nothing against Jared McCann. He's lighting it up for the Florida Panthers. Well, Pittsburgh Penguins? Did he get traded? They might have been traded to Pittsburgh. Anyway, he's doing okay. Hunter Shinkaruk kind of, you know, looks like a career minor league player right now. But that's where Isaac's at right now. Is like, it's a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of like future prospects for this game are weighed on the potentiality of the upcoming DLC. I just want just a little bit of a damage injection, you know, a 20-goal year from Marcus Granlund could go a long way towards just being the opiate of the masses until the DLC's actually out. And again, this is not an insult towards the DLC whatsoever. DLC looks amazing. In fact, I might go so far as to say it looks like the single biggest transformative piece of Isaac-related content maybe since the release of Rebirth. And if you're confused on your births, Rebirth is the base game of what we're playing right now. Man, when Rebirth came out, it changed the game. And then Afterbirth was like, that's cool. And then Afterbirth Plus, you're like, alright, more of the same, I get it. Some of the booster packs have been pretty good too, but... I'm not asking for, like, a bribe game. I need damage to win. The only deal with the devil we compromised on this entire run was the first deal with the devil, which was on an XL floor. So we had very little chance to prepare for it. Now, we're on the womb one. We have 7 rate of fire and 3.5 damage. Is it something I said? Did you get jealous that in the past year I put 600 hours into Slay the Spire and you said, oh, I see how it is. 3,000 hours in me, we built a life together, and then all of a sudden, new card-based hotness comes out, and it's kicked to the curb with me. It's not the way it is, Isaac. It's not the way it is. It's just our collaborative experience here has become a little bit more adversarial lately. I'm willing to acknowledge my own role in that, but, like, simultaneously work with me here. One big damage up on this floor equals Succubus carries us equals we have a good time. Anyway, looks like we're going to be here for a while, so I'm going to hit you with some weekend anecdotes. It's a Sunday today. Saturday is my day off. Yesterday it was like a huge Saturday. Ate some delicious Lebanese lunch. I talk up Vancouver a lot. It really is like a great city to live in, with one glaring negative being that it's like extremely expensive. But, you know, it's expensive. It's not like... you know, it's not like it was a roll of the dice on whether it'd be expensive. You know, it's expensive for basically, like, people want to live here. I mean, that's an oversimplification, but I'm sure there are expensive places to live that are not necessarily that desirable, where just from like a, I don't know, like a natural resource scarcity standpoint, people are like, you know, it's just pricey to live here, because we can't grow oranges or whatever. But Vancouver is a city that's expensive because, you know, part of the reason is that people want to be there at least. But we had this, I had a falafel lunch plate, and it was fantastic. I was relaying to Kate that, you know, when I grew up, you know, I ate falafel in my hometown, but every single place that you would eat falafel at would literally, they'd be like, hey, falafel lunch plate, huh? And you'd be like, yeah. And then they would pull the falafels out of like a Tupperware container and then toss them in the microwave, like right in front of you, and you would just like awkwardly stare at each other while the microwave went. And I mean, it wasn't bad. Like, I still got it now and then, but it was a little dry, a little gummy, you know? So now I have like a good meal that didn't exist in my hometown. I'm still like, man, this is amazing. Like Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber when he sees that man has walked on the moon, and he's like, we did it! That's me. But anyway, that was just the start of the day. We walked, probably like literally 20 to 30 kilometers yesterday. It was the final day of the big Vancouver tourist event annually, which is the Celebration of Light. You get lots of, like every year, 3 fireworks companies, I guess is what they're, you know, fireworks troops. I don't know what the word is, but from 3 different countries. They get invited to come to Vancouver. There's a little barge off of the west side of Stanley Park, which is basically the Pacific Ocean, and they do like a musically synced fireworks display. Dude, I'm dying with these runs. I don't know what to say. Please, God, help me! And you know, I gotta tell you, like it's always fun. We don't see all 3 of them because it's like, it's busy. Like when they were making the announcements last night, they were like, every year we welcome like 1.25 million people to these fireworks displays. And it's free, which is insane. But anyway, it's just like it's a public park sort of thing. I was like, man, 1.25 million people. That's like, it's close to half of the population of what we call the lower mainland, which is like, you know, Vancouver, Surrey, Burnaby, Coquitlam, Port Coquitlam, New Westminster, etc., etc. So it's like, and people probably do come from slightly further away to experience it, but it really is like, imagine something happening where like 1 of every 2 people in your city go to an event. It's real busy. But it was a lot of fun, you know, great fireworks display. Nice walk back, and I mean, there's very little else to say, honestly, because that was the whole day. Okay, crush him! This is where the run lives or dies, right here, okay? Well, that's not the end of the day, because it was also Pokemon Go community. Ah! That was completely my bad. I got distracted talking about Routes Community Day. So stupid! Okay, thank God we had the Algiz rune, one way or the other. Okay, I mean, I didn't expect to get an HP upgrade. Or, sorry, I didn't expect to get a deal with the devil. But now we got a real chance of getting one on the next floor. And we'll just keep kicking that can down the road, you know? No deal with the devil on this floor? Sure, we'll get it on the next floor. Hey, no deal with the devil on this floor? Okay, we'll just make it to the chest. Oh, what do you mean we're dead? Anyway, it was Routes Community Day. I don't know what there is to say about Community Day, except for the fact... Oh, that was close. It's a good time. Basically, if you're not familiar with it, for 3 hours, between 4 and 7 p.m. local time, almost all of the Pokemon spawns are one specific Pokemon. It's usually Pokemon that's a little bit on the rarer side. Especially this time, it was Routes who evolves into the relatively top-tier Fairy/Psychic Pokemon Gardevoir. And it's just, you know, it's just a celebration of the game. At the end of the day, Pokemon Go... Oh my god, we got hit twice. Is really just... You're just swiping and tapping, you know? It's not like Community Day introduces, like, a super intense, oh, you'd never expect it, we added a new system of incredibly deep strategic combat or something like that. That will never happen. So here's my game plan, by the way. Get this son of a gun to pay out with Skatol and then suck up both of these items with Void. There's a chance. It could be a huge payout for us if it works. If you're into Pokemon Go, Community Day is a big day. In fact, I would say it's probably... Yo, let's go! Is the biggest day for Pokemon Go gameplay. So it was a good time, but there's not, you know, nothing else that really needs to be said about that. Yeah, I caught shinies. Yeah, I caught high IV routes. Is Community Day. That's what it's there for, you know? This could change the run. Right here. Hold on, where are we at damage? 6, I think that's 6 damage, basically via having taken some hits, plus we might have gotten a little damage bonus there, actually, now that I look at it. And we definitely got a Tears upgrade. Now, I've made mistakes on this. I've made mistakes on this run. I'll never say... I don't know if I've ever played a mistake-free Isaac run. I reject the notion, I don't think anybody's even saying it this way, but I reject the notion that you should need to play a mistake-free Isaac run, whatever, just hit me, I guess, in order to win. Usually, you can make a few mistakes and still be okay. And I guess that's what the frustration has been lately, is that it really feels like on some of these runs recently, you basically need to play perfectly in order to have a good chance to win. And like, I don't know, maybe I'm not seeing my own mistakes, but I feel like the runs have not been meeting us halfway. Some of them have not met us halfway because they carried us the whole way. You know, we had Mom's Knife Holy Mantle, I don't know, a run ago, 2 runs ago. But you gotta remember, for you, that was 2 days ago. For me, that was 2 days ago. It's not fresh in my mind. Hey, 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 mister. But I'm approaching it from a negative mindset. You know, if I had a positive mindset, I think I would look at this run and be like, this run's a great opportunity because it's a challenge, and if we win, it's going to build a lot of confidence. And that's probably the right way to look at it right now. Instead of being like, you know, this run's a little bit trash. Look at it and be like, hey, bad timing, but is the run a little bit trash? Yeah, I mean, it is. Everything that you can see that's good on this run, we paid a heavy cost for. Might as well check out our boss trap room, I suppose. But if we make it through this, if we manage to make it through the run, it's got a chance. Kind of. Maybe. It's an interesting question on this one. Is it worth half of one charge of our spacebar item to get that half red heart? It depends, really. It might seem obvious, but I think it depends on what rooms we come across early on our next floor. But I mean, there's a genuine chance. This run could make it. Okay, fair enough. Almost went down to Shoal. No curses, is what I like to see. I don't know, at this point I think is probably in our best interest. Oh dude, we're actually doing decent enough damage now. It took until I got back to base damage for me to feel comfortable saying it, but I'm actually somewhat comfortable with our level of damage. So 48-hour energy, we will use it a lot. There's another 48-hour energy pill right outside, so I do want to have a full charge on Void when I go down to the next floor. I think it's of pivotal importance, unfortunately, to keep this life alive as long as possible. I say unfortunately because, like, you know, there's some situations you can get a little overly cocky about things. You know, you're like, hey, as long as we have a life when we make it to Blue Baby, we'll just walk into him with Sack Dagger and, like, it's over. I definitely do not think that's the case on today's run. We're probably going to lose this 2 HP life, just honestly being what I would describe as realistic. But the longer we can keep from having that happen... How did we not get hit there? The longer we can keep that from becoming a reality, I think our odds go up like 2% per room. Now, it's kind of like a... I mean, I'm pulling a number out of a hat, more or less, but... Okay, the fact that we didn't get hit on that room is kind of unbelievable. Now I'm making wagers. You know that I'm being serious because I'm calling them wagers and not bets. I'm using the European term. The wager is that it will now be 5 rooms or more until we find the boss. Because I absolutely... Oh, I was wrong. For one, no battery charge either. Okay. I actually think I will. You know, let's give it a shot. You know, we got bombs. We have okay damage. We have succubus. This is not nearly as bad as the run that we lost last week. That made it here with 9 lives and then just got, you know, beaten on. It's still pretty bad. But it is also going to get better. Like, if we get hit, we at least have a little bit of bonus damage. And we actually dodged that, which is... You know, I've made some pretty bad dodges over the course of today's run. This was like the antithesis. We made a very, very good dodge to stay in the mix there. And I really appreciate it. Thank you, brain. You know, this is the classic indicator of, like, a run not being so hot, is if you can't get Isaac to stop attacking after his first attack, then probably your DPS is well below average, and I would definitely agree with that, but we're making it work. We're making it tick, you know? Oh, we actually made that one work. I guess you just gotta hit him with, like, literally every single shot, and, you know, a bomb doesn't hurt either, I suppose. We're gonna make it, and the run is still not over. Like, I know we've been talking a lot about Isaac. It's been a very anecdote-poor run, but it's also been the kind of run where, like, you know, we've had to do that, to be honest with you. It's so touchy. Curse of the Blind. This is a very interesting position to find yourself in. Let's call it like we see it. Now let's use a little bit of analytical research. What's worth more? Stats or passives that we don't know? I think this is a situation where you probably lean on Void to give yourself some statistical improvements. That's my 2 cents on that subject. Admittedly, I don't know, because the thing with Void is you're gonna get stats. The best case scenario is the stats are in the categories you want them to be in. The best case scenario for a passive is like, oh, we get Incubus. Oh, we get Ipecac, you know? You get a... Oh, my word. There's a high degree of good stuff. I'm actually going to go back. I'm going to try this. Loki's Horns should have been sucked. Piggy Bank should have been sucked. Abel should have been sucked. 8-inch Nails is really good. But I think overall, we would probably call that a should have been sucked. But you can't get HP out of Void sucking, so... And I really... I mean, I do think 8-inch Nails basically salvaged that play, thankfully. It was looking pretty bad. It was looking like we had made a very major mistake. And it still might have been, but who knows? Maybe we suck it up, we get 3 speed upgrades or something like that, and then we go, oh, well, we definitely should have just picked it up, you know? That's the thing about uncertainty is You know, you roll a 4 on a D20 and you go, I'd like to reroll. You reroll it, you roll a 3 sometimes. It's not, you know, the most likely outcome, but we really just need a red heart, please. It didn't have to happen right there. I'm not sore about that. Very important, if possible. Kill this guy. I walked right into it. The slowness, it threw me for a friggin' loop, dude. The good news is, again, I mean, there's more bad news than good news. But the good news is, every time we get hit, we do get a little bit more damage. That damage feeds into succubus, and so on and so forth. This is obviously terrible. It's a little bit like Slay the Spire, just in the sense that, like, you know, we basically at this point need to construct a run that's capable of beating the toughest rooms, and this is one of the toughest rooms, and I do appreciate the damage, but more than anything else, like a single Spirit Heart would be a huge get right there. Did I actually say right there? That's a new one. Having a little high school flashback to when Chingy was at the peak / the only moment of his popularity. No offense, Chingy. Just what the doctor ordered. A Krampus fight on the chest. So we could either get an inferior spacebar item or a very, very mild damage upgrade. And of course, it will be the inferior spacebar item. So I think our course of action is very simple. You hit the spacebar on that double adversary room and hope for the best. Either that or you know, a single well, like an Emperor card would help out a great deal. All I ask, you got to stay close to them. That's the secret of fighting the adversary. Is the closer you are, the better off you are. The problem is, they start on opposite sides of the friggin' map, dude! What are you supposed to do? It's not conceivable! Please! Okay, one of them went up in the air. Get him to land here! Oh my god. You gotta, one of you's gotta fly, dude. Thank you, thank you. We actually killed one. Okay, having gotten through this room now, there is a real chance. Sinus infection is actually pretty great. So the margin for error is like complete, absolute 0. Basically have to, we can get hits, but we definitely 100% cannot get hit against enemies that have no business hitting us. That's my 2 cents there. Pause button, it doesn't help out enough. We don't have an orbital. I mean, we have succubus, but this freaking Spirit Heart is gonna do it, dude. I don't want to hear anything about how I got carried on this run either. Keep in mind, most of our damage upgrade here is via Bloody Lust. I picked up Bloody Lust with the freaking, just a whim. You know, the idea that maybe, just maybe, that gives us something in the future, because it didn't give us a heck of a lot in the present. Okay, so that's the other pretty tough room. I was gonna say, we gotta be closing in on the boss here. We'll definitely just pick it up, and that's a high quality item. Obviously. Just, I mean, he should be super dead. Like, it's comical how easy the end of this run is gonna be compared to how hard it was about a minute and a half ago, but alright, well, we've done it, and I'm actually very happy with myself, but either way, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya.